Disclaimer: the following Boundless PodTrap episode contains strong opinions that some listeners may and will find offensive. If you cannot accept or respect others with a differing opinion from yours, then fuck off.
I like turtles.
Shush! Alrighty. Let me see your war face.
Now, y'all ain't planning on fucking these chickens, are you?
Picture it. Sicily, 1920.
Aren't we fucking funny?
Streaming from the Midwest, right in the middle of the U.S. From Omaha, Nebraska, you're listening to the Boundless PodTrap, your entertainment podcast, where we touch on all topics, from the crazy and absurd to the sacred and profane, and even the useless and unnecessary. The Boundless PodTrap knows no bounds. And now, here are your hosts.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for spending your Monday or whatever day this is with us. We are the Boundless PodTrap. How are you all doing today? That's fantastic. If you said fantastic, if you said bad, well, go fuck yourself. I am your host, Lonnie. With me tonight is my beast of a lover, Jeremy. How are you, Jeremy?
Pretty good after a long night of beast lovemaking with you.
It was fantastic. And to my right, my second-hand man, that is Mr. Justin. How are you, friend?
I'm adequate.
Adequate. I mean...
You're going to quit on us already? This is only the third episode.
It's time to, throw in the chips, while we're ahead, I guess.
Right. We haven't been sued yet.
No.
Doing pretty good.
Luckily, we did some heavy editing.
We'll get there.
We'll get there soon enough. Oh, boys, how was your 4th of July weekend?
It was fantastic. A lot of fireworks and family and food.
What are you talking about?
Huh.
Oh, the future. No, it's nothing. I didn't do anything. I didn't hear one pop.
You know, I'm gonna put this out there. And everyone is gonna say, "Oh, you don't like the United States." Well, you can go fuck yourself. I despise 4th of July, and here's why. One, I'm colorblind, so I can't see your fireworks, and two, it's living in Iowa. People started lighting them off 3 weeks ago.
Well, it's legal here to light them off, sooner than Nebraska, Omaha.
Well, yeah, but you don't light them off on Wednesday at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and stop lighting them off at 11:30 on Wednesday.
Nobody follows the rules. It started from Juneteenth. Was it the 19th of June? And then pretty much every single day since then.
No, it started in April.
Oh, yeah.
People found their last year's fireworks and got excited. I fucking despise fireworks. I hate them. You don't have to apologize to me. All you have to do is shut your face and let me rant.
Damn.
I hate them.
Take a chill pill.
And everyone has been lighting these fuckers off for the last 3 weeks. You finally get your weekend. Congratulations to you. You get to blow them off. But if you motherfuckers go and spend the 50 cents on the big booms, on the 3/4 off sales, and light them for the weekend after, I swear to God, Robert, I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to piss on all your tires.
You're being very specific
This
now.
segment brought to you by Bellino Fireworks.
I hate fireworks.
I just can't believe the amount of money people waste on them. I understand, on 4th of July, yeah, if you want to go all out and splurge, but neighbors, it's the same neighbors in my neighborhood every single night lighting off from 7 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. and it's just consistent. It's where do you get the money? They must be making these fireworks in their basement.
Well, I mean, you can buy a quarter stick of dynamite nowadays for 80 cents. If you go into these pop-up tents that are every 15 feet or in every Family Dollar's parking lot, you can get.
You ever notice that all of the little tents, they have that little sign that says, biggest selection in town? It's well, no?
Well, it's the same thing of you don't hit on a woman and go, hey, my dick's adequate.
I do.
Well,
And look where it got you. You
I know.
have 2 kids now,
You'll
so
go
it must
far.
be adequate.
It's okay.
My thing I don't like about those tents is how they drag you in, because every single one of them, before they even open, they have big banners that say 75% off or buy one, get 3 free. And you're like, holy crap, that's everything. And then you go in there and it's only select items. And it's like the stupidest little, like those little flower spinny things that you get like a
Those are my favorite.
8-pack.
I love those.
It's
You
like,
can strike those on like a matchbox and it still lights.
But it's like, you just roped me in here and now I have to spend $80 on just one fountain.
Capitalism, my friend.
Have you noticed that some of the tents are like dressed up like IKEA? Like it's kind of a maze. You have to go through the whole thing type of thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys are good.
I guess that's the one truest thing about the 4th of July and the country's independence is like getting you in and, the capitalism of it all. So
it is.
When did, I guess 4th of July is like most United States holidays. It's like it had its roots in the country's independence and now it's got so far away from it. It's just like, hooray. It's soon to be, I don't know, what's a great, Arbor Day. Soon Arbor Day is going to have nothing to do with trees and it's going to be about, I don't know, take your grandmother to the dentist day.
Well, that reminds me, you guys need to give me your Arbor Day list, the presents that you want this year. I'm going to go shopping for
I don't know
them.
what this is.
Mine's the big girl beauty set. Has been every year, and you still haven't got it for me.
Someday. The anticipation. I like to give the anticipation.
Yeah, well.
So when the payoff happens, it's that much better.
I'm not getting any prettier, so.
I will say this. People have lost sight of what Independence Day is all about. It's like everything else. It's become a holiday for people to just use as an excuse to get drunk and wasted and do stupid things.
Hold my beer.
Yeah, hold my beer, or keep holding your beer as you are drunk and you play with explosives.
So to all of our fans who lost a finger this weekend,
We're giving you a finger.
Yeah, I feel bad for you, but not really.
Lonnie hates America, should we do the Pledge of Allegiance?
I don't hate America. That's the problem, which a lot of people are going to think for me making this rant. I do not hate America. I love America. I love the country we live in.
You hate America.
I hate the freedoms some Americans get, and they celebrate their independence by wanting to blow up a fucking chunk of America.
He hates Americans, not America.
Exactly. Okay. Fuck you people.
This makes much more sense.
Get out and stop blowing up the country.
So much tension in this room right now.
Well, I'll stop touching you then.
Crazy. Oh, that's you? Thought that was the dog.
Speaking of, I wanted to get something off my chest because I just...
Good, pop that top off.
Slower. I don't want to blame anybody here, but I've been noticing the last few times I came into the studio that the bathroom, like I said, whoever it is, just stop doing it. This is the second time I found this, but whoever is taking a crap in the urinal, just don't do that anymore.
We don't have urinals here.
Okay.
Do you mean the sink?
Is that... Well, that's where I've been. Oh, am I pissing in the sink? Oops. There's already shit in there.
I've always wanted to poop in a urinal. See how many times you have to flush it before it liquefies and goes down.
Depends on what you ate for the day, I guess.
For me, it's all my poops are liquid, so...
You have your American freedom.
Where there's a hope, there's a way.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not me. Was it a solid poop, Justin?
It looked like sorbet ice cream.
Wow.
It was quite multicolored there.
Was it like Twist?
Yeah.
Oh, that was mine. Sorry. I miss Twist cones. I used to eat those things like they were going out of style, and I could eat ice cream and dairy. That's probably why I can't eat it anymore, because I would have 30 Twist cones a day. Renza had them for 89 cents. And
Gerbil, bitch. Oh.
Hey, now. I'm not a biatch.
Wow.
Sorry.
Assume much?
Hey,
He always calls me a bitch. Botch.
Bitch.
Shut up.
So this is exciting. This is our third episode.
Yeah.
Can't believe we've lasted this long.
We got some
all 2 viewers, listeners.
I don't remember if I gave out the stats. So we got some listeners in Montana and was it one in California? And
Nice.
we got like 5 different states, and one of them is like an other because it hasn't been, I don't know what.
Other?
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Like out of country, like someplace like
an undiscovered place?
Vermont.
Undiscovered place like Utah.
Yeah. Like parts unknown. Ultimate Warrior. Parts unknown. That's what he always claimed he was from. For those wrestling fans out there. Okay.
Do we have any?
I have looks coming at me in this room. I feel weird now. Sorry I said that.
Wrestling's fake.
It's not, fuck you.
You better,
Wow.
man.
Wow.
If any of the guys that wrestle
Wow.
for me hear that, you're going to get an
Done for.
invitation into that ring.
It's cancel culture.
It's,
Wow.
I just, yeah. It's choreographed.
I gotta.
It's
Predetermined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway,
The mood was just killed with that one.
how was your guys' last 2 weeks?
I watched a movie where a guy's dick got set on fire and then the tip of it fell off.
The tip fell off and then it started on fire.
Was it? I thought it was the other way around.
I'm pretty sure it fell off first and then it caught on fire. No, maybe you're right. Maybe I think you might be.
Wait, which
right.
one of you guys were recording?
Anyway, Jeremy let me borrow his family reunion tape, and no.
Why has it always got to be incest and perverted things like that with you guys? It's your go-to moves.
No, it was a horror movie called Yummy. That's was a Shudder exclusive. Fantastic, really funny, really good take on the zombie genre. A lot of twists, a lot of turns, a lot of fun stuff.
And the ending,
The ending, yeah.
you if you want your happily ever after, you need to look somewhere else.
This ain't it, yeah.
It's so good. I put that up there as one of my top favorite zombie films now.
I'm gonna go that far, but it was a great movie.
Shut the fuck up. I did go that far.
Well, you don't like zombie movies, so
Who said?
you
I didn't say I didn't like them.
you don't appreciate them.
I don't. It just depends. They have to be done well. Like my favorite zombie film is Night of the Living Dead, and not the original, the Tom Savini 1990 version.
Oh, with Tony Todd.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically shot for shot, the original, but just something about it. I like it. It was well cast. There's an all-star cast in there too.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
those are good
people. So, but yeah,
It's been a while since I've seen.
since you've seen a zombie movie or
Night
no?
of the Living Dead.
There was another remake of that, and there was just
Didn't it have Sid Haig in it?
I don't remember, but I know
From Toy Story?
I caught I caught a section of it where they like got a text message, and on the text message it said, "I'm coming for you, Barbara," and I threw the remote across the room and stormed off. I was like, "Fuck this movie."
That ruined it for you?
Yeah.
It wasn't the cheesy original?
No, the original was classic. The original had so many undertones of racism and
Your favorite?
wow.
Bill Moseley, though, in the Tom Savini version was
Fantastic,
perfect for that
yeah.
part. That guy.
horny, Barbara. They've been dead a long time.
We should get Bill Moseley on this podcast.
Oh,
I bet
yeah.
you he would do it.
Oh, probably, yeah. And then I wouldn't have a house to live in because it would cost the house.
No, I don't think. I mean, look at the amount of. He does like every single horror convention there is out there. He can't be that much because it's from like popular ones to like ones that little Johnny put on in his garage and stuff like that. So I think he's reasonable. He just does. He's smart. He probably has a low price, so he gets asked to do more
Yeah, maybe.
conventions, and then he makes more than people that charge a lot. And people are like, I can't afford you.
Nice.
How was your weekend?
It was slow but long. The way I like it. Slow and long. No.
Oh, and
So many things I want to say, but in the world we live in, I can't say it.
Just say it.
I don't want to.
Just do it.
low.
Dude.
Slow and low.
Nah, I've been doing a lot of work and pretty much almost 12-hour days for about 6 days straight, almost.
Damn it.
I know. His son is beating on me. But it's gonna pay off. It's gonna pay off. Once I get that money, it's gone. Trying to pay off some debts and stuff like that.
Yeah, you owe me about like $5,000, is it?
Oh, did Mike ever give that money, the $600 I sent him?
No, he did not. He wants it back.
Cinnamon did, though.
Whoops.
We were talking about going to a strip club.
Good. Keep that conversation going.
Because it's been a while since we've been there. Michael actually, ML Image Photography, he actually has been shooting with a girl that's a dancer at one of the gentlemen's clubs here in town. And he was asking me because they just reopened. And I said to him, I was like, did you ask her if they require people to wear face masks there? And he's like, no, I didn't. I'm like, how could you not? Like that would be the first question I asked. I would spend every day at the strip club. I mean, I do, but just to watch guys with freaking masks on their faces.
You go to strip clubs for the guys?
Yeah. Oh. I people watch. I watch the guys.
Oh. I'm going to say this about strip clubs.
Sorry, I had salsa before I came.
I'm going to say this about strip clubs. I appreciate the female form just as much as the next people at this table. Put me in a room with a bunch of other guys when I know that within a 15-foot bubble around me, if I know there's a boner within like a 15-foot circle, I tend to start feeling uncomfortable.
I tend to start feeling and you pause. That was the worst place to put a pause.
That's my reach.
I'll cut his mic next time. Make him sound bad.
Do you guys you get boners at strip clubs? I don't think I've ever once.
I think
come
that was
close.
my mentality, like growing up. You know, like why do people always go to the strip clubs? It's like, hey, do you want to go get a boner with me?
You want to go like fantasize about that girl who shoots ping pong balls out of your head?
Whose boyfriend's probably watching you.
When I lived in Germany, there was like this food called it's more of a what is it? Not Hungarian, Turkish. The döner,
German
döner kebab.
German food.
It's Hungarian or
Germany,
Turkish.
Oh,
it's Turkey,
okay.
Turkish, but it's very popular in Germany. But the döner kebab. So it's like, you want to get a döner and a boner?
If I had a nickel for every time I was asked that.
Döner and burner.
It's a buffet.
I went to a strip club in Kansas when I first turned 18 when we were bowling quite a bit, going from tourney to tourney. And
you stud moms, you.
Boom boom gun show.
I got turkey.
And we were going around because we didn't have anything else to do the night before. So we're like, hey, fuck it, let's drive around and find a strip club. And there was a sign that was like, free hot dog with every lap dance. And that couldn't even sell us on it. So.
I wouldn't eat a hot dog in a strip club. No way.
Not even a free hot dog?
Do you know what's in those?
Don't care.
Like pig ass.
Hey, do you want to see my side profile and ask me if I give a shit what's in a hot dog?
You can try.
Lips and assholes.
Only the finest pigs and assholes.
Put that on the plate. Pile it up.
Oh,
if I'm ballsy, I'll even eat ketchup. Anyway, this is getting way out of hand.
Yeah, it is.
Let's jump into our
Good night, folks.
Let's jump into our first topic of the night. Jeremy had a great idea. He's going to do 2 truths and 1 lie, but we're going to mix that shit up. We're going to do 2 lies and 1 truth, the news edition.
Yeah. So I have 3 news stories here. 2 of them I wrote myself.
Local or national?
So it's going to be really easy to tell because it's going to be like, and man walked shoe into face.
Just say Florida man and I'll believe it.
No. So I'm going to read you 3 stories, news stories.
I believe they're all true.
And you guys at the end will discuss which ones you think are the fake ones and which ones you think are the real, and kind of give your reason why you think. Because there might be some things in here that I put, since you guys kind of know me pretty well. There's little hints in some of these things where maybe the way I was writing, I felt that way. You might be able to pick up on which ones I wrote.
Well, we live in a really fucked up world. So the fact that some of these asinine things could potentially be true is the real kicker. So
yeah.
Hey, focus over there.
I'm on it.
Like,
so we're ready?
Don't squirrel on me.
Like the pen and paper here.
All right.
Take some notes here.
So here is news story number 1.
Uno, go.
A man was praised in Fort Worth, Texas for beating up and tying up a burglar who was masked and robbing a sex shop. Reports were that the man who beat up and tied up the robber was the employee on staff when the robber came in. The employee was a former war vet who was trained in hand-to-hand combat. He used sex toys such as dildos, ball gags, bondage ropes, and even flavored lube to blind the robber. When a customer inside the store ran out of the sex shop, they called police saying that a robber had came into the shop. As police arrived, they found the robber tied up, handcuffed with a ball gag in his mouth. They praised the employee as a hero. Normal sounding? Here's the twist. The owner of the sex shop was out of town on vacation. They were informed that his employee, Ben, had saved his shop. Upon returning a couple days later, he was worried about his employee, Ben, because he hadn't returned any of his calls or text. It wasn't until investigating surveillance footage that he seen the truth. Apparently, the man who attacked and tied up the burglar was the burglar himself. Minutes earlier, came in the sex shop, attacked Ben, who was working, and tied him up and put him in the basement behind the furnace. He then put on Ben's work shirt and name tag and pretended to be an employee while he was robbing the place. That's when another robber broke in, and the rest is history. The original robber was found and arrested and is on trial as we speak.
Where was this?
Fort Worth, Texas.
Do
you know sex shops out there pretty well?
No. I just heard a similar story from Paco this weekend, but he wasn't in Fort Worth, Texas. He was in Virginia.
Paco's, yeah. I don't think Paco, there's like 2 states he's never been to. Texas is one of them.
Yeah, he's deathly afraid of Texas. He won't tell us why he won't go to Texas, but he just refuses to go to Texas. Something about the cartel or...
Used to actually live there.
See, I don't know this.
You've known Paco the longest.
True.
He probably told you things.
Well, there's certain things I cannot... since this is pretty much his project, well, his main project here, pushing us, paying us, I cannot disclose too much, of that. Moving on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're ready for story number 2. Story number 2. In Little Rock, Arkansas, an 8th grade teacher was caught for smuggling office-type supplies from her classroom in her ass every day to take home for use in her own home office. According to the news stories, the 37-year-old algebra teacher was caught in 2017 taking these supplies home. When confronted, she apologized, but apparently her addiction to steal these items was too much for her. For the next 2 years, she would insert office items such as paper clips, sticky notes, rubber bands, etc. into a condom, go to the restroom, and insert these items collected in the condom up her rectum using hand sanitizer in her classroom as lube. Students started to take notice of their teacher leaving to use the restroom every day around the same time. The principal of the school investigated and started to observe the teacher's behavior and habits and was off-put by the teacher bringing a bottle of hand sanitizer with her to the restroom. It wasn't until the school's 68-year-old female home ec teacher accidentally walked into the stall with the teacher in mid-insertion. Here's where the story takes a weird twist. According to reports, the teacher had a daughter who attended the same school, who was in 9th grade, who was doing the same thing because her mother asked her to. The teacher claimed they were donating these items to a local shelter so kids could use these items for arts and crafts. The teacher was terminated from her job, and her daughter now has to be escorted to the restroom daily.
Let's hear number 3.
I don't understand why people are so willy-nilly to put things up their fanny.
It's 2020.
Huh.
You would be the expert on this, Justin.
I don't utilize my prison pocket like that.
Okay, so story number 3.
Tres.
An unnamed Indiana man back in 2016 went through a nasty divorce that didn't end well at all. So because of this and the sudden nasty ending to this divorce, he was forced to move back in with his parents, considering he had no money and his soon-to-be ex-wife threatening to take everything. After 10 months of living at his parents' place, he was able to move out again into his own place. Fast forward to 2019, and this unnamed man, who is now 40 years old, decided he was going to sue his parents for $87,000 over a pretty weird, or to some, logical moving-related incident. What reason could possibly make sense to essentially ruin a family for so much money? According to the man, his parents had thrown out at least a dozen boxes of his adult movies and magazines. Some titles of these movies are Big Bad Grannies, Toe Jamming, Little Oral Annie, and Two in the Pink, One in the Stink. He estimated his collection to be a total worth of $29,000. Now, a man who is seemingly broke should have never invested so much money into this collection and could have found a nice place to live with saving that kind of money. The man only had one piece of evidence, and that is an email from his father which said he was doing his son a big favor by throwing them out. The case is still going on and hasn't come, C-O-M-E, come to any settlement. So those are your news stories. 2 are fake and 1 is real.
Just one?
Just which one?
I feel like that last one, I've heard something very similar to that. The second one, that the daughter teacher, sounds very real. But paper clips?
I mean, there's people out there that insert weirder things in their asshole that are sharper.
You're going to put a paper clip in your anus?
But paper clips, though, they're rounded.
Oh,
so
some of them are like, if it's the teacher's stuff, it's like a heart shape.
But you can put a whole box in there.
The
that's
corners.
true. It didn't specify whether it was.
You could dent a corner of a box.
With my anus?
You could fit 4 together in a box.
That's not all I can put on.
But we don't know the shape and size of her daughter's asshole, so maybe
It's probably best that way.
I'm going number 2.
You.
As the real one. That's what that smell is.
I'm going number 2, and I'm choosing number 2.
I am also choosing number 2 as the truth.
Truth. So you both are agreeing that number 2 story about the teacher and daughter putting things in their ass is the true story.
I am.
Correct? Okay. So I will tell you that number 3 about the sex shop was fake. That was a made-up
That
one.
was number 1.
Yes. So yeah, the sex shop one, number 1, was fake.
Yep, we got that one.
So now, not the masturbation story, sorry. That kind of is. The guy with his sex stuff that he uses to masturbate that his parents gave away.
Did he attack his parents?
Just with a nasty lawsuit.
Oh, so I feel like there was something else, and then they brought him to court. I might be mixing up some stories here.
So I will tell you that the one that you guys picked, the number 2 story about the teacher and her daughter shoving things up their ass, was fake and made up. The real story
was taking a shot because that story was the smallest. So I was figuring the first one was very elaborate.
It was.
And
that
the
was
second one was very elaborate. And the third one was the smallest. And so I figured that pattern, I figured you'd mix it up to kind of throw us off the hint.
I thought about it, but I was just like, I think saving the real one for the last one might throw you off, and it did. So now I will tell you this:
I was coerced to guess that one. My real answer was going to be number 3.
No, it wasn't.
I will tell you this: if the number 2 story that I made up actually did happen, that'd be crazy. So if there's anybody out there listening and you were shoving school supplies up your asshole in a condom, please let us know.
If you're inspired to do this.
I feel like that story has happened, though. Because, like, the second you started saying it, I feel like that is something that has happened. Because my mind instantly went, oh, no, this is it. Instantly when you started saying it, I was writing down, true, no, this is it.
I used to steal a lot of supplies from my high school in the art closet. It's like I was
up his anus.
Not up my anus. We either threw it out the window into the bush, or we stayed after school, propped the door, did our band. Well, hung out with the band people until they got finished. Since one of the band guys was our ride, and then we just haul ass upstairs into the art supply.
So wait a minute.
He would steal his own art supply.
You
up
guys,
his anus.
They always say band nerds, and
I was my band.
I was in drumline, which I don't consider part of band, but you weren't in band at all.
Nope.
But your ride was a band member?
Heck yeah.
You are such a loser.
So you had to wait for a band nerd.
I
So you weren't
am.
cool enough to be in the band.
You had to sit in the back seat with his tuba.
Yeah. Fuck, what did he play? I actually, his girlfriend was in the band. Well, actually, both of his girlfriends.
Oh,
He's in trouble now.
shit, son!
I hope his
They're not
girlfriend's
listening.
not listening.
Sorry, Paco.
Oh, no. I don't think
It wasn't
Paco was a
Paco.
band nerd.
No, he didn't. He wasn't in my high school.
Son
Much.
of a bitch.
He ran that shit.
Good. Good. I like this. This format. This two truths and a lie, two lies
Yeah.
and a truth type of thing.
Next time we do it, one of you's going to come
Ah,
up with the stories.
all right.
I'm not good at word.
Oh, we know that.
We're not good with this test.
We know you're not good with
Want
anything.
me to use my noodle to?
That's not true. You should see him work the dick.
I am very good at working the dick. I'm not gay or anything. I'm just very highly persuaded.
$20 is $20.
20
That
bucks.
has nothing to do with him working
That's
the
a
dick.
lot of money. A
You
lot of money.
got any more, or was it just one?
What?
Do you have any more?
News stories?
Yeah.
No, it was
The
just
fuck?
He's like 2 weeks. That's all he had to come up.
two.
Blue
Kinda
balls
slacking.
the shit out of
What
him.
did you
know.
think I was going to do? Like 17
I don't-
I
stories?
feel like we're in the middle of a slide right
It's
now.
called-
Like, you're just gonna let us drop off right
It's
now.
called
Next segment.
Two
This is
lies,
fucked up.
one truth. It's 3 stories. I read 3 stories. What?
Yeah, congratulations. Part 2, go.
I feel like
Round 2.
We got a lot of stuff we're
Rolling
talking
this
about
out.
here.
this is.
All right.
We got to keep this under 2 hours. We're at 31 minutes right now.
Yeah, okay, fine. Let's move on. All right, next part of the night of debauchery ran by yours truly. We're going to dive into something that irritates not only me, but irritates a good section of our fan base. What's that, you ask? Plot holes. Plot holes in your favorite movies, movies you can't stand, movies you've loved in the past and you didn't realize how bad they were. We're going to dive into the plot holes in movies. We've each picked a couple of our favorite movies or movies we can't stand. And we're going to talk about some plot holes, some obvious, some not so obvious. But, let's dive into it, boys. Jeremy, why don't you start? We're going to go round robin here, each throw one out at
Yeah,
you.
since you left us hanging,
Yeah.
finish this off.
I mean, what a
I'm
fluffer.
I'm
what
satisfied.
what a fucking fluffer. Like, get us wrapped up and be like, ugh, fuck it, I'm out.
Do you guys not read the emails? I said I was going to pick. I'm done. I'm not talking about that. All right, so
Why are you yelling at us?
potholes in I said potholes. Plot holes in movies. So this is one I kind of talked to you guys about. This has to do with the 1998 Michael Bay film Armageddon.
We're supposed
Damn
to
it.
give dates, too?
No, you don't have to.
My God.
Movie reviews, critics.
But so yeah, Armageddon from 1998 with an all-star cast: Bruce Willis, Ben Affleck, Michael Clark Duncan, Owen Wilson. What's that guy's name?
And I don't want to miss a thing.
Yeah,
Liv Tyler.
Liv Tyler, Billy Bob Thornton. That's what I was thinking of.
Thing I'll never
So-
do will get
So a little bit.
something.
Shut the
Sing
fuck
this
up.
fucking song.
Stop. I like it.
So a little bit about the movie. An asteroid's coming towards the Earth, and if it hits Earth, it's going to destroy and kill everybody on planet Earth. So what they do is they contact Bruce Willis, who he's a really the best oil driller there is, and so they hire him to go and his crew to go up onto the asteroid, drill to drop a bomb and explode it from within, causing it to pass Earth.
Get up in there nice and deep like Brucey.
So here's the plot hole. Would it have not been easier to train astronauts to be drillers instead of training a bunch of reject oil drillers to be astronauts? And they had 12 days to train them.
I think being an astronaut, it's pretty easy. You just put a helmet on and then you... I saw a movie where a monkey was fixing some fins on a... Yep. Fuck, what movie was that? Oh, no, that was a show. That was... Yeah. That was the new space one.
Well, here's a few other things. So Ben Affleck, who is one of the stars of the movie, when they were filming, posed that question to Michael Bay about wouldn't it have been easier to train astronauts to be drillers? And Michael Bay snapped at Ben Affleck and said, quote, shut the fuck up. This is the real NASA plan. And Ben Affleck, shut up. Now, there's no proof that that's the real NASA plan, but like I said, in the movie, they had 12 days of training to be astronauts, when in reality, it can take up to 2 years to be trained to be an astronaut and prepare for everything and anything that could happen in space, and to train your body for space. Now, to be an oil driller, numerous sites that I went to say you just need a high school diploma and know how to use certain tools and machines, which an experienced and trained astronaut already has knowledge of tools and machines and could easily pick up how to drill in less than 12 days, especially if they were the ones that built the tools and machines to go up on this asteroid and drill. So, what are your guys' thoughts on that?
Oh. I mean,
It makes sense, though.
Well,
He was good.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
He's
I
good
love
at
this
what he
movie.
does, yeah.
I mean, it's great, but I just...
What if you got an astronaut to learn how to drill and he was just crappy? Like Bruce, he gets in there and hits all the right spots.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easier to teach someone on Earth to adjust to the gravity thing. Like, there's chambers on Earth to teach someone how to get used to being on a spaceship. You really can't teach someone on a spaceship how to drill.
No, but it would be easier to teach them before they go up on the spaceship to drill.
Yeah.
I just...
How long does it take to get up there? They can watch a video along the way.
Well,
I mean,
YouTube
YouTube
wasn't a thing back in '98. I mean, and I think this took place in like '96 or something like that. I don't know, unless it said present time. But
It's like you're up there and you're trying to, you got like 10 seconds, and then you pull up YouTube to see what you can do real quick, and then an ad pops up, and then
you can
have to
skip
wait
them
for
after 5 seconds usually.
And then you're down to 5 seconds, and
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, to me, that's been one of the movies that I'm just like, I love the movie, but man, that plot hole, it just doesn't make sense to me. I know it's a movie, and that's the thing. We know these are movies, but for that story about Ben Affleck, bringing it up to Michael Bay and having Michael Bay snap at him like that,
that was mean.
That kind of shows you right there that Michael Bay realized that. And it was probably like, shut your fucking mouth, dude. We're just going to make a movie. And look, they made millions off of that movie.
Right.
Well, what else could they send up there instead of drillers?
Dig Dug.
Astronauts. Just train them.
I'm not following you with that one.
I guess not. So, yeah. It's your turn, Justin. Let's see what you got. If you think mine's so shitty.
I had a few. I had 2 movies, like we were supposed to, like the email that Paco sent out to do this.
Paco doesn't have email.
Oh,
He has Gmail.
He has MySpace.
it's email.
Yes.
Email.
He has Hot or Not, and each picture he has something carved in his chest.
It's like,
That's
did
how
you get that electronic mail they sent you?
It's in gold bars.
You don't
and
say
then
eat?
they suddenly disappear in the morning.
Oh. Is that a reference? I don't get your reference.
No, it's literally their gold bars.
Oh. Okay. I'm sorry. So, yeah, I picked 2 movies. The first
We're
one...
doing one at a time, brah.
All right. No, I'm going to do both of them, and you have to follow them both at the same time.
That round robin is one at a time in a circle.
Kind of like Toast. The game Toast.
Toast?
Anyways.
So, what is your guys' woodworking knowledge? Like, what is the extent of woodworking that you know?
Well, I've been single for 18 years, so
This is a lot of chaff on the
oh,
bark.
you're talking that kind of wood. Not so good.
I got some carpentry knowledge. I can build a house. As long as I don't have to, finish it.
Like popsicle sticks.
Sure, we'd go there.
As long as it
I
doesn't
eat
have
a
to.
Once again,
graham
I will
crackers.
say, look at the side profile. I know quite a bit of popsicle knowledge.
Yucky.
I
I keep seeing a side profile.
Well, anyways, so
Enjoy.
the movie I picked was Edward Scissorhands.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's a cult classic. It's probably up there, somewhere in my top 10.
It's got one of my 5 in it.
Well, I ask about your woodworking knowledge because to keep a blade sharp, most woodworkers would say you have to throw out a blade like every 6 months or so if it's, at a low level, because a lot of sharpening and, use can degrade it and decrease the surface area after a while. But, and he was Edward, or Johnny Depp, played by Johnny Depp, Edward Scissorhands, our main character of the movie. What was it, like 93, 94? Was this around?
It was 93 when it came out.
I think it might even be earlier than that. Let me do some Googling
If
while you're
only
talking.
we had a device to look it up.
Well, it's preoccupied tonight for another purpose.
You don't have a Michael.
I can look it up if you.
I'm doing.
Okay, so proceed.
So he was like always using his little blades and stuff, and
90.
Wow.
But his shit was like razor sharp. Everything he touched would be either created into an art or destroyed. As he was
Michelangelo.
It was like one of the most memorable lines. It's like, touch me. And he's like, I can't, because he can't touch people.
Emotionally.
So one of the plot holes with that is, I guess that is the plot hole. How is his knives or his blades always sharp? Especially since the inventor, played by Vincent Price, died so many years before. He's out there alone, just cutting away at things. He doesn't sharpen it. I'm assuming he doesn't know how to take care. He doesn't have any sort of maintenance for his stuff. For his blades. Let me just say that.
Yeah. Oh, he's got plenty of maintenance on his stuff from all those cougars.
Yeah. There's another plot hole where, so he's up in like the little loft area, and he's just cutting away at all these ice sculptures.
Yeah.
It's like, how did the ice sculptures get there?
Where's
it's just him there.
Where's all the ice coming from?
Right.
Who's bringing the ice?
I'm like, unless the inventor created some sort of device or mechanism that can drop the stuff, but he still has to move it around. But yeah, it makes no sense.
So do they have an ice delivery man? Did he set something up?
Nobody goes up the hill.
Yeah.
It wasn't until Winona Ryder's character, or sorry, not Winona, the mom, Peggy? I think I'm mixing the names up there. Anyways, the mom of Winona Ryder, she went up there trying to sell her Avon, and that's how she found Edward. But yeah, and you kind of see like a full display of that upstairs area.
Yeah. And
there's nothing up there.
It's been a while since I've seen that movie. I mean, I'm envisioning it, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe, back in the day, they used to make things a lot better for long time use. So maybe his blades were made from
like real steel,
like tungsten,
possibly adamantium.
Could be.
That's what it was. His adamantium scissors.
Could have been the same thing that Wolverine's claws were made out of.
Well, like
that's adamantium.
Is it?
What a dumbass!
I'm telling you right now, X-Men is like the least amount of knowledge I know.
But there's a nod earlier in the film where Kevin, the son, is pretty much trying to wipe off or wash off the shrubbery on Edward's hands, his scissor hands, and the dad's like, "No, put oil on it. We don't want him rusting out." And so, if he didn't have oil on it, before, it should have been rusted out. There should have been degrading. But that also leads to another thing. If they put oil on it later on, when the neighborhood starts, getting used to him, he's at like a little barbecue and he's doing shish kebabbing and stuff. And he's holding this stuff up and people are eating all this food.
That's gross.
So ingesting oil, that can give you like chronic diarrhea, maybe even poisoning.
Soaking too much coffee too fast.
You can have like an allergic reaction to that too. Put it in your Java. Yeah, vomiting, poisoning. If any of you guys are eating or drinking oil or have currently, you can call Poison Control at 1-800-222-1222. Just so you know.
Thanks, Justin. I was wondering what that number was.
Yeah. So what is Edward? Is he a robot or is he like a Frankenstein creature? Because he can also bleed and eat. So if he's a robot, where is he getting?
I don't think I ever thought of him as a robot.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would just see him as like a
modern day Frankenstein
creation.
It shows the progression, flipping through the pages and stuff of like one of his monsters, because the inventor took the cookie heart, and put it up against one of the robots, doing the little relay belt type of thing. So he made a person out of one of the robots, and you can see like the progression as the pages turn. And so he has skin, but he's eating, but he's not like, making boo-boos or puking, having somebody hold his hair back. But if he's a Frankenstein like creature, where did the inventor get the organic material? Like, is he a murderer? Is he killing people?
We need an origin story of Edward Scissorhands to find out.
Tim Burton did not go into that.
He probably in his mind had an idea of the backstory.
Probably.
It's probably just as twisted as a lot of his things.
He's saving it when he needs a couple bucks.
That guy. He can piss on the floor and people will be like, that's amazing.
All those goth girls I dream about are like, oh.
It's just like
next Tim Burton movie.
That's all I got.
All right, let's do this one. This one seems like fun. I'm going to go back into the 1978 Clive Barker masterpiece of Halloween.
It's a good one.
And there's one giant plot hole.
6 times.
In
6 times.
In a masterpiece. Just one plot hole and an absolute masterpiece of a movie. And that is, how does a 6-year-old boy who kills his family, or kills his sister, go from, he gets locked up in an insane asylum and is basically a vegetable for 15 years, get out at the age of 21, and all of a sudden knows how to drive a car to get to Haddonfield?
Well, if you recall, he is pure evil. So his body doesn't necessarily...
That's not... Well, pure evil can't drive a car.
Yeah, he can do anything. If you have enough faith.
Evil doesn't believe in faith.
I feel like you don't respect evil enough.
That is a conversation for another time, my friend.
Right. That could be a whole 2-hour segment podcast episode.
Yeah,
I never really thought about that.
Yeah, so when he first gets locked up, he is 6. He has 15 years of basically in a vegetative state. Like, they keep him very medicated. When he gets out at the age of 21, he instantly just gets in the car and drives to Haddonfield. Well enough to not get apprehended by the police. Now, granted, it's the late 70s.
How long was he?
15 years.
15 years?
Yeah, he got
there would
out.
have been like some massive atrophy if he's not using his body at all.
Well, basically, yeah.
So,
because all, like...
And he's just a presence of a man when he comes back on a hunt.
Well, basically, and that's why they don't really, like, they call him Michael Myers, but if you look through the credits, they don't address him as Michael Myers. He's the Shape. So basically, all Halloween fans don't acknowledge him as Michael Myers in the first movie. He's the Shape.
The Shape.
The Shape.
Shapes don't scare me.
I'm sitting here trying to figure out how he could have possibly learned.
Right. There's no possible way for him to be able to drive confidently where he wouldn't get pulled over. And Haddonfield's a big city where the cops have a presence. So how would he be able to drive around that town confidently to not get pulled over and be, oh, well, who's this crazy guy?
Oh, that hospital bed? He was plugged in.
Yeah, Matrix.
Yeah. He downloaded it.
Well, I mean, maybe it just has something to do with how he developed.
Right, the cognitive thought he had.
Because basically, he's also, that's one of the things I always thought of too, is like, he's a boy. He's a human boy. He's not like, one of these mongoloids or whatever.
Most boys aren't capable of killing well, I guess they're capable, but do not follow through. So maybe he's just got a lot more potential.
Well, maybe he is. Maybe he looks like a human on the outside, but because it doesn't explain too, like, he gets shot at the end of it, and
6 times,
he goes
and
away.
He falls 2 stories, and
he doesn't die.
Yeah,
and it's just like, and then in part 2, he gets like his eyes, the blood tears, that famous infamous scene where he's got the blood tears and he blows up and then he comes walking out of the fire. I mean, he's not human.
No.
You just stand there watching like, bullshit.
Maybe that's something in the brain to where it picks up on things. And
if you look closely, when you're running away from him and then you turn back, you can see him slow down and just keep his little pace. And then he hurries and runs with you.
Speed walk.
So this, I'm going to ask you this, Lonnie.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be a stupid question, but did you like Dr. Loomis played by Donald Pleasance or played by Malcolm McDowell?
Now, they were both such amazing actors. Like, I can't say either of them did a bad job, but Pleasance is Loomis to me.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
Not that I didn't like Rob Zombie's Halloween, but I'm such a purist when it comes to most all franchises with what I grew up on. It's kind of like you and it.
Halloween 3 was the best.
It's not as bad as people make it out to be.
It shouldn't have the Halloween title.
Well, no, Halloween was actually supposed to only have Michael Myers in the first one. They just made a lot of money, so they thought they'd give it a second one.
And then Michael Myers' mom was the killer.
It's fucking crazy.
Get out.
No, but Loomis will always be Pleasance to me.
Well, whenever I think I hear somebody say Dr. Loomis, I hear Donald Pleasance's voice.
Right.
I do. And not taking anything away from Malcolm McDowell, he brought a different kind of Loomis to it.
Right.
I always felt like the original Donald Pleasance Loomis, I don't want to say it was shy and timid, but, with Malcolm McDowell's Dr. Loomis, I felt like he would not take shit from anybody.
Right.
He brought a lot more confidence, I guess, to it. And Loomis had the awareness of like what this guy actually is. So him being afraid of Michael Myers makes, at being the authoritative figure, it's like, oh, I should be afraid too.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and it had a lot to do with his handicap as well. With Pleasance having that limp and that almost disability made him always seem like a target, where with McDowell's being more able-bodied, where it kind of took away that constant fear.
Was it H2O when Loomis died?
I thought it was even earlier than that. I thought it was 5.
Because I watched H2O. No, maybe it was part 5 that I watched. Yeah, it was part 5.
Halloween water.
Get out. Get out. I liked Resurrection. A lot of people hated that one, but
is that where the Jamie Lee Curtis died?
Yeah. And Busta Rhymes is in it, and he puts on the mask. And the only reason I like it is because...
Was that Resurrection? I thought that H2O was Busta.
That was LL Cool J. Resurrection was Busta Rhymes, and he's like, trick-or-treat, motherfuckers. That was like the best line. Anyways, we're getting off topic here with that, but are we satisfied with what we talked about with yours?
Yeah. How about you? What you got for round number 2?
So I debated on... I debate every night. But I debated on 2 of them, and I think I'm going to go with this one right here. I think I'm going to go with a Pixar movie. Oh. And I'm going to go with the 1995 original Toy Story movie, the first one.
Toy Story.
So this is a big question that everybody has, and there's people that side with both or give information on both things. But if Buzz Lightyear didn't think that he was a toy, which was pretty much the whole premise of the first one, is Woody trying to convince Buzz that he's a toy. If Buzz Lightyear did not think he was a toy, then why was it that he froze every time Andy came in the room or a human would come in the room?
It's just the...
mass psychosis.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Well, some say it is his Space Ranger instincts, and he freezes out of protection to himself because humans are giants compared to him, and he's thinking that they are
bullshit.
Some kind of
he
alien.
Went to go attack a car.
It's true.
Cars are bigger than people usually.
Sometimes Jeremy's isn't.
No.
Others say it's because all toys, when new, are programmed to think they are toys. But if that was the case, why was Woody so confused by this when Buzz thought he was real? Woody would get angry yelling at Buzz that he was a toy. Even that scene when they get left at the gas station, Woody even yells, "You are a toy!" So if that was the case, Woody would be a little bit more understanding with that because he would have had to go down that path as well. But and it would appear that the Buzz Lightyear line of toys. So let's go to part 2 of Toy Story, where they're in the toy store and it's closed. Every interaction they have with every toy there knows that they're a toy, but the only aisle that they go down where they don't think they're a toy is the Buzz Lightyear aisle. So is it just something with the Buzz Lightyear line or something like that? So, there's a lot of people that, a lot of explanations out there, but nothing that's significant. And I even went as far to see if Pixar even released a statement, and I found something where they did, but it wasn't anything. So what do you guys think?
I don't think if I don't have to.
Lonnie.
So in all of the Toy Story movies, there's really not a lot of action figures. Like Duke Kaboom and 4.
If you look in Sid's room, there's a lot of like wrestler style, pick apart.
Ones. Yeah. So we don't know if that's something bred into the action, quote unquote, action figures. It could be something just in that particular toy where they're so bred into the action element, they don't realize they're a toy because they just know they're action man, blah, blah, blah. So that could be something inbred into them.
True, but in part 3, Buzz gets switched over to demo mode. But the demo mode, Buzz knows he's a toy.
But he also has like a Espanol form.
But he knows he's a toy there, too.
So okay.
But it could just be particular that Buzz, since he's already been conformed to know he's a toy.
Possibly. I mean, you are right. A lot of especially in part 3, a lot of them are, I guess Ken and Barbie are considered action figures, but there's a lot of stuffed animals and stuff, too.
Maybe it's just something in the air. He's not made to breathe the air, so.
I think it's a plot hole that they couldn't cover up.
Bury those toys.
Maybe they thought of it too late, and there's like, well, shit, we've already got all the voice recordings, and we have all the animations done.
And beyond.
So we're just going to go with it. And again, nothing wrong with Toy Stories are probably my absolute favorite animated movies out there. Although I do believe they should have stopped after 3. I don't think a 4th one should have been made. I think that was made for greedy reasons.
It was awesome. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've seen all of them. And I'm not saying Toy Story 4 is bad, but it didn't need to be made.
Sporky? Forky? Yeah. Have I seen it?
Yeah. Trash? My niece loves Toy Story 4.
He didn't know he was a toy, but he wasn't. He was made to be a toy.
But he wasn't. He wasn't even a toy.
He was a nihilist.
Oh.
He was a plastic fork with what are those things called? The
pipe cleaners.
Pipe cleaners and googly eyes. That doesn't make you a toy.
Yes, it does. With enough imagination.
Trash?
Trash?
Anything can be a toy in the right hands.
Well, I would love... There's a meme out there. It's that picture of Buzz and Woody where, like, Buzz has his hand on Woody's back and he's, like, pointing, like, at something. And he's like, you see, Buzz? Or he's like, you see, Woody? Those are Andy's mom's toys. They have the same name as us.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
All right, so that was mine.
Oh.
Over to you, Mr. Lightyear.
Congratulations.
Real life Mr. Lightyear.
Have you?
The Claw.
The Claw chooses.
My second pick, we're going to go back to the 90s. We're such 90s peoples, minus the 70s.
I wasn't around in the 90s.
Wow.
Wow, did you point at me and say 70s? He's older than I am.
I know, but you picked Halloween. That's what I was talking
Because
about.
I picked a classic. God.
Yeah. Well, you hate America. Yeah.
God forbid, my family's Canadian.
Coffee makes you poop.
Coffee, that wasn't a poop. That was an evacuation of the troops.
Did a poop mid-cast.
People don't realize we paused the podcast. So
we had to air it out.
It was the worst. I'm glad it happened. This would have been a very different podcast if that didn't happen.
It's like, do we rub his nose in? But yeah, so my second pick is going to be, I'm going to do it right now.
That's pretty much how I take people to bed. We're going to do it. I'm going to do it right now. Let's go.
I'm going to do the sex to you so good.
You're going to like it, I hope.
Put the sex on you so good.
All right, second pick.
So quick. It's not a contest. Okay. Home Alone. We're going to go to Home Alone. Let's go to the McAllister family. Follow along. Starts off, a storm pretty much hits one of the power lines and resets all the clocks. McAllisters wake up late, rush to get to the airport and take off, leaving a lonely, I'm going to say lonely, it's extra lonely, kid. So as they are putting, packing up, you can see people working on the power lines there. Plot hole here is after the parents leave, they're doing whatever they can to call back, call neighbors, call home, but there's no ringing on the phone. But Kevin orders pizza. So I mean, they've been trying back forever, calling everybody in their phone books. I would imagine how many, and then like there's the neighbors. They're full of the families over there. Why did nobody else pick up? When Kevin is walking back home from the store, he sees, a loving family that he's missing out on. What else? So another plot twist that goes with this. So after he calls the pizza guy gets scared off with the fireworks, thinking like some machine gun is hitting him, but he never reports it. He just goes about his job delivering. So nobody comes and checks up on the kid. And when the cops were actually called and do a little checkup, all the lights are on, and the cop just checks the front door, and he's like, oh, don't see anybody. It looks good.
Tell them to count their kids again.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, there's a few other things here. So that's pretty much just with like the phone lines there. Kevin could call the cops as well, but he never does until the very end after he's tortured these poor guys. Because they're not rich, they're poor. But yeah. There's another part in the movie where he opens up the window and he sees Marv and Harry arguing loudly, like they're pretty much, I don't know how far down the street or whatever.
Let's give the criminals respect, too. They're the wet shoe bandits, right?
The wet bandits.
Wet bandits.
The wet bandits.
Part 2, they're the sticky bandits.
Sticky bandits.
Sticky bandits. Yeah, so he knows their plan because Harry's like, we'll go get something to eat. We'll come back at 9. So he has all this time to plan things.
And we know Kevin heard him because Kevin goes, 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. Yep. But what does he do? Like, he draws up a little crayon map thing. He goes to church and, makes friends with old man O'Malley, Marley, whatever. Yeah, he just has this little Rube Goldberg plan in the back of his mind. But when he comes back home after the church, after, he has that little sentimental talk with the old man Marley, do you know what he does? He runs right into the house, an unlocked door. And it's already dark time, but around that time, it would probably be sometime after 6. So he has maybe 3 full hours to rig his entire house, and he still doesn't call the cops. I mean, come on, man.
Well, also,
you could just not
is he going to be able to rig his house that quickly?
I don't think so. But that's also another thing, because after the cops are, called, after all this torment and, bondage, his little kinks, work out to his favor, get these guys all wet and hot and what else? Tickled with the feathers and yeah. So he goes about his house like he pours tar on the steps. Do you know how hard it is to get tar off? Like you have to like cool it or use some sort of acetone or dry solvent. But yeah, he cleans up everything, and then like the parents and stuff come home the next day to an immaculate house, except for Buzz's room.
Yeah. Fuck Buzz. He was a dick to him. That's why.
Well, Buzz was a little nicer. He let him in the room a little bit. It's Uncle. Wow.
Uncle
Frank. Uncle Frank.
Uncle
Fuck
touches
that
a
dude.
lot.
That guy was a dick. Like,
There's
unnecessarily mean to his nephew.
There's a theory that Uncle Frank actually planned the thing.
I think I've heard this.
Because he was on the phone with somebody saying, like they're pretty much gonna be gone or something like that. I don't really remember the entire conversation, but he's saying maybe he was telling them that they're clear to come on in. That's why Pesci was there in the beginning.
Did you notice how much?
Nope.
The cop at the beginning of the movie looked like the robber.
Holy shit!
They
There's
could
the plot.
have been twins.
Whoa.
Twinsies.
Well, here's my thing about the phone lines. If the phone lines were down, wouldn't it be the whole block?
Yeah.
But yet, when they're robbing the house across the street, isn't it the one that they're robbing across the
They
street?
put the phone off the hook.
Kevin's dad calls and leaves a message, and that's how they know that they're actually gone, because he's like, "Hey, Harry, what were the name of those people? The McAllisters?" And then it's just like, well, you're right, they're gone. So how is he able to call and leave a message on the neighbor's phone if the phone lines were down?
How?
And my other question I had, too, is we've all gone on vacation.
Have we?
And you know that you're anxious the night before.
Yeah.
And you hardly sleep, and you wake up really early.
With nothing packed?
You're telling me that this family of was it 18 people or something like that? Every single one of them was sleeping that hard and that heavy.
Definitely not.
That
Especially the kids.
They didn't wake up and realize, oh, it's 6 a.m. We need to get everybody up so we can get going. They all slept in. I mean, what kind of fucking
What kind of
family
airlines is that? Because you're one head short, and they would have at least called for at least one more person if they were checking all the tickets.
Maybe not necessarily.
Unless kids fly.
Because this was 1990. Both of your movies were 90.
They were 93.
Did you live a little? Did you know that there was 91 through 99 still? There's a lot of cool movies that came out.
My life was on pause for a while.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The best thing about that movie is Mom got saved by the Polka King of Wisconsin.
Kind of. He was actually the devil.
I've heard this one.
When she's like, I would do anything, I would sell my soul to the devil. And then he's like, oh, excuse me?
You're welcome.
Did you also hear that thing in that same scene where people said Elvis Presley was behind her? The guy standing there was Elvis.
It was.
Like he looked like what Elvis would have looked like.
Like a Ramos.
There's a lot with that movie. Do you
in the Saw combination, Macaulay McAllister became the Saw. Yeah,
we could do a whole episode on this.
We will eventually.
Did you ever watch the movies that made us or whatever, the Home Alone one?
I have not seen that.
That is amazing. I did not know that this was all filmed inside of a high school gym. They built the house.
Nice.
In a high school gym while school was going on.
I call bullshit.
Pretty cool. And the basement scene where they have the water going in the neighbor's house, that was built and filmed inside the school's pool. Have to watch that. It's pretty freaking amazing.
With the scary furnace dude?
No, it would be the neighbor's house across the street.
Oh, yes. Wait, he flooded the neighbors? Oh, they flooded the... No, he did.
Because he put a rag in the sink and left the water running. That was a good one.
Thank you.
That one.
Good pick.
No, it's good to your...
All right. So for my last and final one for this segment, we're going back, way back to the 80s style. And we're going to talk about the second best karate movie of the 80s.
Sweep the leg.
Very good.
This is one of my favorite movies.
We're going to talk about the 1984 classic, The Karate Kid.
Be careful what you say.
In the biggest plot hole in The Karate Kid, takes part in the most infamous scene in The Karate Kid. What is the number one thing the referee says about...
No kicks to the face.
No strikes to the face at all. And how does Daniel win that tournament, Justin?
I think he stroke his face.
Yes, the crane kick is 100% illegal.
GI.
Johnny should have won that tournament hands down. He's the true victim of the Karate Kid. Justice for Johnny.
I agree with you, but maybe the referee saw the cheap shots that Johnny and them were taking on him and was like, I'm going to let this one slide.
Everybody gets one.
He has a fucking black eye when he's walking out with this participation trophy.
I don't see eyes in color. Oh, wait. Oh, shit. You don't see eyes. No, you're right. I'm sorry. Is that a skewer?
That comment was brought to you by Justin.
Justin Milani. You can find him at your local.
Look him up on Facebook.
Because he's colorblind. I'm making fun of his handicap.
Okay.
I'm not making fun of him because he's racist. I'm making fun of him because he's handicapped.
Yeah.
Didn't somebody make a short film that was if Daniel actually was called out on that and disqualified and Johnny won?
No.
I thought somebody did.
I think there is.
That'd be awesome, though, if there was.
There is. Or at least there's a mock story or whatever. I don't know if it was an actual acted out. At least the one that I'm thinking of. But I know they shined the light on the YouTube Red series with the karate. Have you seen that whole thing?
Oh, Cobra Kai? It's on Netflix
I need
now.
to. I saw the first two episodes of the
You just used
one.
your free pass.
I did. Yeah. I've been meaning to buy them. They're in my wish list on Amazon to buy them. But yeah, there's a music video called "Sweep the Leg, Johnny," and
It's not like Sum 41. Who was that?
It's a punk band.
Ah.
We'll have to look that up and maybe put the link up with this. But it's called like "Sweep the Leg, Johnny." And they get the whole cast. They get Ralph Macchio, and I don't know all the Cobra Kai's names, but they even get, their sensei and all this stuff. And they all
Miyagi
play. It's like the Cobra Kai's are all living in a trailer. It starts out where they're living in a trailer and they're like fat and bald and like they're watching the Karate Kid movie, and the one's just like put him in a body bag, and it's pretty funny. And then at the end, Ralph Macchio is driving his convertible car, and Johnny's like roller skating, and he gets hit, and he's on the windshield, and they're like face to face, and the soft music's playing, and then Daniel turns into an asshole and just like revs the gas and like steps on it and makes him fly. It's pretty good. You should look it up. You should
been a while
watch
since
it.
I've seen that. That was on like MTV. Remember when MTV played music?
No, they did not.
Well, we're only like, what's that say for time?
We're just over an hour.
Oh.
Because remember we paused so you could take a.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we still have a ton of time left. You have
We
a
do.
third one, right?
I do.
You have a third one, right?
I do not.
Oh.
Well, I could do a third
I
one.
did, but
Well, we each have another one.
Okay.
do a
we
third.
can. I can riff on something.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Well, what's your third one? What do you got?
So my third one, I didn't do too much research on it, but mine goes back to 1997, James Cameron's classic Titanic.
Ah, fuck, that was my third one.
Is it really?
It was.
About the door?
No, it was going to be the axe.
Okay.
Oh.
So
it was going to include the door because you can do so much.
Well, I will start with the door, and then you can go to the axe. So, the whole thing...
Not to stop you, by the way, but the best karate movie of the 80s.
Best of the best.
Bloodsport?
Fuck yeah.
Bloodsport's okay. That's not karate. That's kickboxing.
Kumite.
Isn't it like a mixture of everything?
Kind of. And that's what a kumite is pretty much worldly. Well, it's a tournament of worldly arts.
Is that the one with that song that...
Kumite.
Yeah. And that's by Stan Bush, the guy that I...
Sounds just like it.
Sounded like the bathroom about a half hour ago. So, Titanic. At the very end, after the ship has sunk, and Jack somehow finds Rose in all the mayhem going on in the water, and he's like, I need you to swim, Rose. He found a fucking door on the other side of the ocean where all these people were, and for some reason, when they got back there, this isn't part of the plot hole, but it kind of is, nobody had gone on that door. So he gets Rose up on the door that's floating, and she's floating. He tries once to get on the door, and it tips just a little bit, and he's like, oh, well, I'm not going to fit, so I'm just going to stay in the water, freeze, and die. Rose did not move over. Rose did not scooch over, and there was plenty of room for her to scooch over, but she didn't. Now, the only note that I have here is Mythbusters actually
They had
this.
like so many
And
positions that could have worked.
they
balanced out.
They proved that both of them could have survived if she would have just moved over a little bit. So was there a little bit of a vendetta that Rose had against Jack where she didn't want him to survive?
She was just a spoiled biatch.
Right. I just think it's funny on her deathbed. She's got like a family and all these kids.
Her bullshit, like, oops, bullshit. You did that on
all
purpose.
this, and like her husband's dead, and like she fucking dies, and her husband's waiting in heaven, and she's like, "Come to me, dear," and she fucking dies, and she goes to Jack, the dude she met for like 30 minutes worth of dick on a boat.
She kept
and her
options
husband,
open.
who she's been married to for like 50 years with kids, like, what the fuck?
He's like, I wasted all this money
What
on you
about
for this
me?
boat.
Well,
Must have been some good dick, though.
it had to have been. I mean, it was his first time, Jack's first time having sex.
What about his French girls?
He just drew them. Did you see them?
I feel like
One of them
he was very experienced with his. Do you always draw with your pen? when I say I'm going to draw you naked, it means I'm going to be naked drawing you.
Well, you do draw me naked.
True. This is true.
Speaking like one of your French girls. But
So what's yours?
So there's a part in when he's handcuffed, and she goes to swing the axe. Like, well, obviously it's two different people because if you look closely, it's not DiCaprio, like hunched over.
It's B. Arthur.
Yeah. And then you can see the axe hit him in the hand. He would have lost his hand and bled out. But he is a robot.
Built by Vincent Price.
Yes. So
another weird plot hole about that movie, you know that guy in that weird hairpiece? That was fucking Billy Zane the whole time.
crazy. What a phantom.
I'm not buying that whole movie. A ship that's supposed to be unsinkable sinking.
I know.
Not buying it.
Yeah,
and like these two guys
bullshit.
did not see this iceberg from so far away
Because they were watching
these
Jack and Rose make out. So they're the fault.
committing some sort of adultery. Oh.
right. They're like, oh, they did it.
It's like,
If you think about it, it really was Jack and Rose's fault because they were the lookout and they were watching them make out.
I'm
These
the king
guys-
of the world.
Yeah.
You're not
Kids,
fucking gonna-
sex does not pay off.
does not. These guys were preoccupied.
Oh,
That's what it was.
Was I the only one when I went and saw it in theater? Was it just me that when that guy jumped off the boat, hit the propeller, and the sound it made and him spinning like 50 times before he hit the water?
You're like 10.
I laughed so hard
I
in the
did.
theater that people were giving me evil eyes.
Ooh, don't care.
And you know the guy, that Chef Boyardee looking guy that was on the end with them? That was apparently a true story. There was a chef
Boyardee.
that was like, yeah,
Man,
that was on the end of the ship who was one of the last ones to write it down.
Yeah.
Ride that unsinkable ship.
I feel like if he would have just paddled in the water, like it would help warm him up instead of, wimping out and catching hypothermia in like 0 degree or more.
I feel like a lot of them would have died a lot sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was sad to see the babies rise up. That's.
Well, it just kind of shows you, like, people with money. Like, she's like, oh, I love you so much. And when it comes down to it, she's like,
Bye.
street rat, fuck you.
I would have been that one guy that like jumped on. That was the guy that developed the show. Or what was he?
I don't know. You look at me like I have any fucking clue
No,
about
I'm looking at you
Titanic.
because I'm thinking.
The guy with the gun?
The
I don't know
guy.
if you remember, but I have a penis.
It was a guy that he wasn't the one that designed the ship or something like that, but everyone was expecting him to stay on the ship and go down with it, but then he quickly jumped on a boat and
He's like, deuces,
Went down.
bitches.
nope, that would have probably been me. I'd been like, see you all. Once I knew that my niece, my wife, my daughter, or whoever kids were on a boat, I'd be like,
You
Daddy, I'll see you later. I'd go to the other side and I would
expendable.
jump on the other boat. So what's your third now?
My third is the 1985 classic. Well, even before we get into this, what's the most epic moment you've had in your life? You don't have to admit it if it's something sexual. Then you have to admit it.
Epic moment?
Yeah, like what's something super epic you remember in your life?
Honestly, it was a couple years ago at the screening of Unemployed, my movie Unemployed.
Yeah.
The first night, the first premiere, the sellout crowd there, it was after the infamous webcam scene. I just remember
good scene.
the whole time people were in an uproar of laughter, but that was the scene that got the biggest fucking laugh from everybody, and it from the deep gut laughing to the oh and all that stuff. I just remember sitting there thinking to myself, like,
He just
life cannot get better than this.
How about you? Most epic moment of your life?
The most epic moment of my life?
Yeah.
I would probably need, like, 3 to 5 minutes to tell you.
Well, something quicker then.
Yeah. Going to the motherland.
So not your daughter's being born.
Mother Russia.
Russia? And Italy. Yeah.
Nice. But so you guys remember those moments pretty vividly, right? You remember
It was stinky. Yeah.
You remember people there,
In
you remember
Venezia.
seeing, and you remember the moments pretty vividly.
Yeah.
Okay, so my movie I'm getting into is Back to the Future.
Oh,
Should we go back to the Future?
Back to the Future.
This is possibly one on my list. So,
And the moment is Marty McFly going back to save the budding relationship of his parents, and after the moment, his mom and his dad are thanking him after they get back together, and they are visibly looking at their son, and they're like blah 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 blah, and then he goes back to the future.
They're looking at him like, I don't see it.
Yeah, like, I don't see the resemblance. But 30 years or however long later, they have him as a son. Why wouldn't they remember him?
especially when he told them about, if you have a kid that sets the carpet on fire, go easy on them. Now, it's weird because this was one that was on my list that I was thinking about doing.
Right.
And I did some research on it. And there's some people that say that they knew that was their son because Doc Brown went back in time to tell them that, hey, if you want your marriage to work, your son's going to be helping you out, but he cannot know that you know that.
See, that's
you
fucked
know.
up.
That's too
That
much
was like
blank cannon
utilizing
bullshit.
the flux incapacitator.
No,
But like, how would they? So
Are you crying?
it's just such a great movie. I mean, but seriously, like, such an epic moment in your life where you meet your wife and she's the butt of your eye, and then this dude who's like, "Yeah, I did that," and all of a sudden, like, he's growing up, and you're like, "That fucking guy looks familiar."
Right. Like, there's certain things that, like,
I
beg
saw
to
him.
your senses, like, you know, like a certain smell, and it just, like, takes you back to that. Like, if you come across burnt carpet and, like, wait a second.
Yeah, well,
So,
I fucking hate you for some reason.
especially if they're watching Family Ties, they're like, that's our son on TV.
fucking ruined it.
Why does he get an allowance?
Yeah, I mean, I will give the creators of Back to the Future a lot of credit because
I won't.
that's a hard to write stuff like that. Like, you have to do future stuff, past stuff, present stuff, combine them all.
You just gotta
That
start
would
at
just-
the end and work your way back.
As
That's all.
a writer, that would make my head explode trying to figure out
And
how to.
that's a problem with time travel films. Like, there's so much you have to do correctly to make it logical, but fuck, there's so much wrong with the Back to the Future movies. But it's just a suspension of disbelief. You just don't give a fuck.
Which one's your favorite out of all of them?
Number 2.
Same.
4.
They should do a fourth one. I mean, they shouldn't because movies are kind of ruined
Yeah.
these days. But They always say like they wouldn't do the another one with Michael J. Fox because of his Parkinson's disease, but it's like you could easily in the story, in the plot of it, just say that he's like that, and it's a side effect of all the time travel that he was doing.
Or you could just keep your, what is it?
Penis?
The rumble effect.
You have it a found footage movie.
The camera, the shake mode. Turn the shake mode all the way. Never mind. Stabilizer. Put the stabilizer on.
My shake mode is always on, baby.
You know why Michael J. Fox makes the best milkshakes, right?
It's too.
I know it's not going to be what I think it is. Why?
Because he uses the best ingredients.
Oh.
See, I didn't fall for it.
Interesting. Nice.
You know who else does amazing work? Our sponsor, ML Image Photography. He specializes in glamour art photography since 2005. His specialty areas are glamour, boudoir, pinup, ink model, fine art, nude. Now, we're not talking like Bubba taking a picture of you naked and sending it to all his buddies. We're talking classy nude.
Correct.
And glamour nude. You know, I don't know what that means, but I'm sure it's fancy.
Tasteful.
Yeah, he won't even ask you to smile. Cosplay, dark beauty, and horror. You can see his work at mlimage.com. Just know it's not safe for work. I did mention nude a couple times. That should imply it's not safe for work unless you work at said strip club, porn shop, or a place you don't want to work at anymore. You can also join this Patreon page by looking him up at ML Image on there, patreon.com. Big thanks to Michael at ML Image, where image is everything. He even took pictures of us and made us look good. I don't know how that happened.
I don't know about
You made us look bad, too.
I mean, I jerk off to my picture.
You can only look so good when you're on your knees. And people think we're lying here. Those pictures haven't been released yet.
That is I have them in my phone.
That's a
you sick fuck.
That's a screensaver.
I did. It is a 6:12 image. I have to admit.
Oh, we need to get those framed and put in here.
Right?
Do we have time to share that story? Can I share that story?
Yeah, go to town, bro.
All right.
I
So,
can get some stuff set up.
this is one of my more impactful moments. So, have you ever done something you thought was really fucked up and to get a job? Remember that part? Remember that part in like Step Brothers or like shut up, shut your mouth. Well, this is what I feel like. So when I was joining the military, like you go to MEPS, you know, was it military processing, enlisting, whatever, I forget what it is, processing center or something, I don't know. So
not me, because apparently you guys think I hate America.
He does. He said some things. So the night before, me, my brother, and my best friend were trying to enlist into the military, so we had to take these preemptive tests. You know, they make you do all the, check your blood work, your vision, height, whatever, all your stats. And so we have to stay the night before in a hotel so they can keep accountable of you, and then they will ship you to the MEP center. So, and it's co-ed. So you have to sit into this briefing room, and we just like munched on like Cheetos and, junk food, playing PlayStation all night in the hotel room. Me and my brother, my best friend, who also, me and my brother roomed up together. And my best friend was like right next to us, so we just stayed up all night. So I'm tired as fuck. All right, so I'm trying to stay awake through the initial lecture, if you will, and I'm just kind of falling asleep. And there's like this hot chick, kind of cat-a-corner to me, and I'm like, ooh, like I'm young. I'm like what, 19 years old or so, maybe even 18. So yeah, as it goes by, we're pretty much passing each other in the hallway, and I'm just, my guts are, I'm like, man, I think I gotta, let one go or take a crap or something, and I'm also really tired, so I try to get out of certain things and try to get a quick nap. So I go get my blood drawn, and I'm telling my brother, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna fucking pass out. I'm gonna try to get a nap in here real quick, and so once I get my blood drawn, I'm like, all right, I'm feeling dizzy. And they're like, oh, let's get some people over here. And they like take me over to this room. And my best friend is sitting standing in a line trying to get something else, like a vision test or something. And he's looking at me like, yo, what's up? What's up? You know, and I turn my head and I look at him and I smile. And he's like, he's fucking faking it. I'm like, shut up. So I was able to like sleep for a little bit, but it felt like a full night's rest. And my stomach is still hurting, so I at least got one thing down. Now I just need to take a crap or poop or whatever you want to call it. Those are the same things.
You should chug a Dunkin' Donuts coffee real quick.
Yeah.
That helps.
I feel like that will clean you out. But so we go into this room. They finally cut us off, you know, like all men in one room, women in all one room. So they make us strip down to our underwear, and they're like, you know, you have to do these little movements, you know, duck walks, bear crawls, you know, just to see what your mobility is like. So I'm like doing these duck walks, and it's kind of pushing on my stomach. We're like, oh man, this is a small room. All of us guys are in, and I'm going to rip one and just like stink it up. So after we do this, we sit onto the little bench, and then the doctor and his assistant are in a private room. And they take you in one at a time. Nice. And you can see like the embarrassment right before you go in the room, and then the shame as they come out. So it's like, oh, I'm next, you know. And then they go in, the door opens, they come out, and they're like, oh. It was like they just been molested or something. So the doctor has to look in your butt. So when it's my turn, I stand up, I go in there, and the doctor is sitting in a chair, and he's like, you know, points to where I need to stand. You know, I'm facing him. You know, I give him my name and last four of the social or whatever. And the other guy is sitting.
What are those, by the way?
I'll tell you later.
And the first three?
Yeah.
And the middle two.
Middle two?
Got it. So he's looking at me, and he's like an old guy. Do you remember playing the Tekken series, any of you guys?
Yeah.
Do you remember Dr. B?
No.
Dr. Bolshevik or whatever like that. He is the guy who's like, especially in like Tekken 3, he was like one of a secret character. He just like falls down. He looks like old as, you know, this is what this dude looked like.
Are we going to get the payoff soon?
Yes. Yeah. So he's looking at me like he's an old guy, like his hair is all, you know, like Einstein-y. And he's like, drop him. And I'm like, oh man, okay. All right. So I turn and drop him, and he's like, you know, all right, bend over. I'm like, okay. And he's like, relax. And I'm like, no. He's like, go ahead, just relax. And I'm like, relaxing. And I go, like straight in his face, like Cheeto puff, like, yeah, his hair blows back. Like he's that old that I feel like that gust of wind would have killed him.
Knocked him over.
But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part is he goes, woohoo! I'm like, okay. So ultimately, I went into a job. I pulled my pants down, farted into some dude's face, like 4 inches away from his face, and I got the job.
Sounds like most of your jobs now.
I was just gonna say, I was like, how did us doing a photo shoot with Michael make you think of farting in an old man's face?
Well, he was talking about one of the most epic moments of your life.
Oh, that's fair.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that was pretty epic. Rest in peace.
Brought to you by Cheetos.
I was the last person out. Nobody else came in.
Because they had to clean up.
Yeah, sanitize the place. It's like fecal matter in your face, man. That's mine. I ripped on that dude's face.
Gotcha. Are you at least Facebook friends with him now?
I don't know if he's alive anymore. This is what, 2003?
Face Duke friends.
This is almost 20 years. Holy shit, I could have retired in 3 years.
Yeah.
Man.
He's suffered the worst case of pink eye anybody's ever had.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm legit worried about that with Mox. Like, my eyes itched the other night. I'm like, motherfucker, I got pink eye! So I'm working in ophthalmology. Like, that was always a fear.
You don't put your face that close to his I know.
No, but I like touch him and shit, and babies are fucking gross. So I was like, I'm gonna get pink eye!
Yuck.
Well, anyway, we are ready for the main topic of the night, which is the Villisca Axe Murder House. And we had big plans for this. We were going to get in the car. We were going to drive to Villisca. We were going to take pictures, and we were going to do this whole big thing, and it was going to be this grandiose thing. And I overpromised you guys, and I apologize, and that's all on me. And
You suck.
It was going to be fantastic. So, unfortunately, this is just going to be a normal thing. And part of me wanted to cancel it. And I didn't have the heart. I know you guys put in a lot of effort getting information.
I did not. I didn't know.
You did it?
I didn't know.
I told you I didn't because when you sent that message the other night saying you're going to take us on a roller coaster or whatever, I was like, I'm not even going to.
Let's do it.
But I
What the fuck?
I know enough.
Did we let you down?
I believe.
Well, anyway, so like I said, I felt bad. Like I said, I gave you guys this whole big spiel about like I wanted to overperform since it was my first night hosting. And I'm going to read a little bit of the email that Martha, the owner of the Villisca Murder House, sent us. I don't want to get too much into it because I feel like getting too much into it is promoting her, and I really don't want to do that. But I am going to read a little bit of the email.
It's because you hate her?
Well, no,
American?
I don't hate her. I hate all Americans. I hate your holiday. But I sent her an email saying hello, who I am, who this podcast is, how we would love to do. We're doing this section on this podcast, and we were gonna put over her house, and we'd love to know more of the story from her aspects, since she's the owner. She probably knows more than anybody on this planet from owning the property. And we'd love to come down and take pictures of the property. We'd even pay. We just wanted, if we could get 10, 15 minutes on the inside to cut a promo, we'd gladly rent it.
Is she going to be listening to this?
I gave her the name of the podcast, yeah.
Sorry for what I'm going to say.
So I sent her all that, and I was very respectful. And like I said, so I'm not going to read her email response verbatim. But the first line of her email is, I have not given you permission for any of these things you're planning to do. The house is private property. The story is not. They are murders, but the rest is mine. So after that email, I was kind of heartbroken because I was really excited about this. The Villisca Murder House was a big thing because I grew up not too far from the Villisca Murder House, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So I was almost half tempted to just cancel it, like do something else. But then my inner Karen kicked in, and I was thinking,
do we all have one of those?
Well, yeah, I would assume we're all white.
I'm not
so
white.
we all have an inner white woman who wants to speak with our managers.
I'm olive.
So basically, so what I thought tonight, we would talk to Martha's manager and talk to the real owners of the Villisca Murder House.
Are we going to summon a ghost?
Oh my god! Do you have a Ouija board?
What are you pulling? He's unzipping it. He's whipping it out. This is a backpack. Oh shit!
Oh my god! It is a Ouija board.
It's Milton Bradley. All right.
Hasbro, we bought your Ouija board.
Is that the Monopoly guy?
So yes, we are going to try to contact the Moors, the true owners of Villisca Murder House.
Is that some incense and candles?
Oh my god!
Huh.
I hope you don't have to sacrifice a virgin. Oh,
well, that'll be easier. We're all virgins, aren't we? I have kids, but supposedly my wife sat on a chair that I got done pleasuring myself in.
So I need to open this
Over there.
box.
I'm gonna. That's why I have the camera, so people can't just hear.
Oh, that's why.
I see.
I thought it was. These things are dangerous. The skewer.
Have you guys ever used a Ouija board?
I have not.
No.
A Ouija?
That's what.
I'm just telling you right now, if it catches on fire at any point, my ass is out this door. I'm closest to it.
All right.
Where did you get a Ouija board?
Spencer's Gifts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
So the
why.
scariest part is I had to go to the mall.
Do we have to sign a waiver?
Why?
I don't know. It seems like a thing to do. Does everybody do that?
I mean, this is going to be interesting here. There's. Oh my goodness. What are the dice for?
So do all ghost follow the Arabic numeral letters? Like, what if they're like Asian ghosts? Do they use other characters?
So we're talking to Ghost from Villisca, Iowa.
You want to summon an American ghost?
Yeah, we're trying to contact the ghost who died in Iowa.
Iowa.
So if they know Arabic, they shouldn't have been living in Iowa in the 1900s.
Well, the number Arabic. No,
I like how the bottom says goodbye.
You have to say goodbye, or they will follow you home.
Huh? That's how you end.
So you've done research on this?
Well, that's what the back of the box said.
Do we have to hold hands? Get your hand out of my pocket.
You're all supposed to touch it.
Just with one finger, or do you do? I thought I've seen movies where they do for all their fingers.
But we all it's pretty small.
Is
I think it said for 8 and up. So.
Violating social distancing
for 8 and up.
Yeah,
if
for
you watch your kids to. So are we turning the lights off? Or
yeah, that's
you guys
what the
are
candles are for.
Oh, I thought the candles were like we had to put them on.
These are cute. These look like little crayons.
Yeah, those are my summoning candles.
Don't rip one.
This is going to be interesting. I've always wanted to do a Ouija board.
This is not how I choose to normally summon, but we're going to give it a try.
All right, so are we going to light these candles?
Yeah.
One at a time.
This torch.
All right. Do you need to burn some sage to cleanse the space? Whoa. Is that an electric lighter?
That's crazy.
I used to use that to remove hair.
If you hear something that sounds like a plane, it's not. It's the spirits.
Oh, no. Put it right under the wires.
Dang, Justin, your flame is
Thank you.
Crazy. So do I need to hit the lights?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, God.
Oh, set the mood.
This looks like a low-budget indie film.
Like a low-budget found footage movie.
You guys can't see right now who are listening to the podcast, but we will have a video posted where you can check in on this content.
I just want to let my family and friends know that I love them. So if this doesn't go well...
Do you have a made-up will? A current will if you go to Policy Genius?
I'm thinking there's some...
They're not. We shouldn't promote them. They haven't paid us yet.
I'm thinking... Okay, I was like, why are there 4 flames on the screen, but that's the reflection on the board?
Are you freaking out?
No, I'm just... I like this stuff.
I think he's freaking out.
Your flame is really tall there. I think you have some activity on your side of the board.
I can feel it. My chakras aren't aligned. There's some... I don't know.
Your what?
Your chakras?
He's getting into all that,
chocolate?
My woo?
His chocolates aren't lined.
Okay, so take us away, Lonnie. Apparently...
All right, we all got to touch it with one finger very lightly. And I think we got to go around to acknowledge that we're here.
Do it cockwise.
Hello. We're here.
We're here.
We're trying not to... There we go.
All right.
We're trying not to do anything mean. We just want to...
Oh my God! Do you guys smell that? It's like burning hair. Something's here.
You're on, Justin.
In there. All right. So, we are here. We are trying to contact the Moore family who died in Villisca. Are any of the Moore family here with us tonight? I thought you were just about ready to hit a fucking sound cue.
I know I was going to throw something at him. I don't know if they are.
More family?
Is there anybody here with us tonight?
It's not like the Brood sentence music.
Shit on my face. Shit on my face.
Is anybody here with us?
I think... Is my arm going to sleep reaching this far? Why is it so close to you guys? Okay. Oh my God, the board is moving.
I'm not going to lie. That kind of caught me off guard because I looked away for a second.
We would like to speak with Joshua Moore. Joshua Moore, will you speak with us, please?
Somebody's not believing.
Who else we got here?
Sarah. Sarah Moore, are you here with us?
Are we gonna... Is this gonna have an outcome? How much did you pay?
Like $35
for this experience?
I figured we can do this all
You
the
can
time.
visit like your local library or something. You can get a lot more.
Sarah Moore, are you with us? We would like to know.
Are any of the Moore children here with us?
We're trying to create an entertaining experience for our... You guys are making us lose visitors. Fuck you guys.
Ouch.
Either come here or be square. I don't know.
11-year-old Herman Moore who died in Villisca, Iowa. Please let us know you're here. Move the planchette to yes or no.
You can't call him that.
Let us know you are here. If you are here, please let us know. Spill out tits on the Ouija board.
How far is Villisca, Iowa, from where we're at?
About 70 miles, give or take.
Okay, so we got to give them 70 miles to get here.
Fuck, man. Your dog is deaf, but it's barking at something.
Yeah.
I think...
Is that your dog?
Yeah.
So, like, no joke, Lonnie's dog is deaf, and it's barking right now. I've never heard your dog bark.
And no fireworks are going off right now.
Am I touching it? I can't even feel my fingertips anymore. Are you taking over my body?
Is somebody moving that for real?
I'm not.
I'm not.
I don't know if I am because I can't feel my arm reaching all the way across.
It looks like you're heading towards... It's pointing at the yes. So you're making the dog bark.
Are you making the dog bark? Are you making Velvet uncomfortable?
If it's just pointing at yes the whole time, it doesn't... Are you...
Whoa, the flame just jumped at my arm.
Make Velvet the dog bark again if that's you.
Oh, shit.
I'm not touching it anymore at all. Are you guys making it go towards yes? Because I'm not.
I'm not.
I'm not touching it
I am
anymore.
not.
I don't know because my arm is like... My fingers are... I can't feel my fingers.
Okay, let's be more definitive. Are you causing the animal in this house distress?
If it stays on yes, that's not proof enough. Is it getting closer?
It did. That was a lot louder of a bark.
Boring!
Jesus Christ, that was so loud. God dang.
While we're waiting for him to do something spectacular, I'm going to tell a joke. So, this guy is sitting in a church, and, like, the pastor's like, have any of you guys ever witnessed a ghost? And, like, a lot of the congregants, they raise their hands, you know, all right, rude, stop making the dog bark. Okay, and then the pastor's like, okay, have any of you guys ever touched a ghost? And then, like, you know, lots of the hands go down, but a few of them still to stay up. And he's like, the pastor's like, have any of you guys ever had sex with a ghost? And then the guy in the back keeps his hand raised. And, you know, everybody else's hand is down. And the pastor's like, you have? Come here, my child. You've had sex with the ghost? And he's like, huh? And he's like, come down here. Come down here. So the guy goes up front. He's like, tell us, you've had a sex with the ghost. He's like, oh, I thought you said a goat.
Where's the Price is Right losing theme sound effects? Ghost.
So now all the ghosts are going to disappear.
The spirits were sorry for that. He was the opening act. It didn't go as well as we thought.
Well, since we're doing this, we might as well go around the horn. I might as well tell one, you got one, while we're waiting for stuff to happen here. What's the difference between a chickpea and a garbanzo bean?
Huh.
I've never paid $200 for a garbanzo bean on my chest.
Huh. You got shafted. The delivery was pretty decent, But
That used to be my text message alert. That Price is Right theme thing. It got so annoying real quick. Every 5 seconds.
does it? That's probably why you're so depressed.
Did anyone move it off of Yes? Or
Yeah, I
is it-
probably did. I don't know.
All right.
I just feel like we're not doing this correctly.
Yeah, you should cover this thing in blood and take it back. Like, I don't think I got anything.
Spirits were dicks.
Do all of us have to have our hands on it?
Do you want to try to sacrifice your dog?
Because I'm thinking that Justin with his reaching is moving it because his arm's twitching. So I think if he takes his hands off and it's just you and I, Lonnie,
Yeah.
it might be a little bit
have a
better
better
because
response.
we don't.
Okay.
Do we have to put both hands on it?
This
or
ghost is a
We can just
dick.
do one.
You like made my arm go numb.
if you spirits are with us, Justin you can follow him home because he's being very mean and disrespectful to you.
He hates you.
Are you talking through the dog or are you talking through the board? Like, we have a tool here that you can use. Like, this would be a little bit more clear.
Like, I feel like this is how all my high school relationships went. Like, I feel like I was talking normal and they were talking like this.
It's like I passed you a
Like,
note.
why don't you understand me?
Our fingers are hovering off of this thing and it is moving.
Are you a spirit in this house trying to communicate with us?
Be as clear as you can. On the board. I
Are
mean,
you
finger
mess-
pressure
are
or
you-
pressure
are
him
you-
to talk. Like, we have ways of making you talk.
Are you messing with our equipment in here? I'm going to tell you right now, I just got I just felt like something was breathing on me. And I'm
Do you
not
need me to-
making this up, at all. Is there a spirit in this room with us? Did you pass through the dog through the door and you're now in the room with us? Or-
So, Lonnie and Jeremy both have their fingers on the, what did you call it? A patchet? Panchet? Planchette? I don't think I've ever called it by its maiden name. And nothing is really happening. I can see Lonnie forcing things. Magnets. Is there anything under the table? No.
Michael. How long have you been down there?
If you are here and you don't want to talk through the Ouija board, why not make a knock or make a sound on this table?
Why are you looking at me?
Because I'm watching your arm. Because I know you.
Hands right here. Are we recording? What was that?
Oh, shit, boss.
Okay, if you're in this room and you are what's breathing on me,
Fucking stop.
breathe on either Lonnie or Justin so they can feel the warm breath on them. Our listeners think we are nut jobs right now. Don't turn the AC on. It appears that the dog is your means of communication. If that is the case,
That means
I want you to slaughter the dog.
Stop it, because Moxley is trying to sleep, goddammit.
we'll do it quietly.
Well,
A
here,
little ghost too.
if there's anything you want to say to us or do, now's the time to make a noise, move the oversized guitar pick. The floor is yours. The podcast is now yours.
This is not good for podcasts.
Like this.
Audio. Are you
feel
naturally like skeptical of certain things like this, or
No,
do you buy
I'm
in?
a firm believer in stuff like this.
What about you?
I'm a tweener. I believe more in this than I do other forms of
Like mediums? I went to a medium when I was
magical men in the sky.
my godfather killed himself. And we went to a medium, and they directed towards me as a 13-year-old boy, and he's like, and he wants to tell you that there's something that you're doing a lot that you should probably stop doing. And I'm like,
Masturbation.
yeah, that's what my dad and, because it was my dad's best friend, my godfather, and they were trying to figure out some answers, and they give you the routine, your friendship was meaningful, but there was a lot of pain in his life, and the stuff that they try to just squeeze a buck out of you for.
All right.
Well, you know, my work is haunted, and I've experienced. Me and one other guy experience things all the time there.
Before we get any farther, thank you, spirits, for
thank
communicating with us.
Thank you. Goodbye. We hope you are
let's wish you-
resting peacefully, even though
Let's wish you a
things
final
were
good
not good.
Have a good night.
Stop petting the dog.
Goodbye.
Spirits.
See you, dude.
Later, dude.
So I will turn the lights back on, or do we want to do the rest of the
just leave
podcast
it
like
on.
this?
Have you guys have both been to the Villisca axe murder house?
I have not. I want
have.
to.
I have not.
When I was young, like, and this is why this story was so special to me. Like when we were young kids, like 13, 14, 15, it was a rite of passage to go. Like, and this was before anyone owned it. Like when it was just old and abandoned. Like when a new kid came to town, we'd throw him in the car, whoever's old enough to drive, and 5, 6 of us would get in the car, and we'd go down there and we'd let ourselves in. We don't say break in, but let ourselves in.
Break in.
Yeah.
She's gonna be pissed off. What's her name? Do we reveal
we're
her
not
name?
gonna say her name.
I feel like we should.
Let's just call her Doc Brown.
So we'd let ourselves in for the night, and me being the asshole I was, people would like the main thing. I will snap this back just for the terrible thing, and if anyone's interested in going to the Villisca axe murder house, when you roll the ball in the living room and it rolls back to you, it's not a ghost. You didn't grow up in the country. The floor's not even.
Fair enough. Yeah. Figures.
So yeah, like we would go there as kids and we'd let ourselves in and we'd hang out, we'd tell ghost stories, and we'd sit there for a couple hours until the local sheriff would come by and tell us to leave, and we'd go.
I've always wanted to stay there, but
How much is it a
It's like
night? Do you know?
$750
Yeah.
for
That's
the
a
thing.
rip-off.
you have
It's
to get like
ridiculous.
a ton of people to go, and I can never get enough people to go.
So
Everyone's like, I'd go, but then they don't want to.
Well, it's a small house too, like, and it's wood floors, and it's hard to really appreciate it because every step you make, it's an old wood farmhouse. Every step you're gonna hear people walking. You can hear people talking from a room away, and
thin floors.
I think a lot. Sorry to cut you off, Justin. I know you're about to talk there. I think a lot of people, it's just, a lot of it has to do with their imaginations.
Most of it
If
is.
somebody tells you, like, listen for the floor to creak, and you're going to hear voices. Now, every time you hear any little noise, you're like, that was the floor
That's
creaking,
the
and I hear
Prestige,
voices.
it sets you up to hear what they want you, kind of how we were talking about with the Blair Witch type thing. The sounds are to trigger a known response.
right. When we used to give ghost tours in Des Moines, we would
Des Moines?
Des Moines, South Des Moines, the rough part of town. We'd put everyone in a group, and we'd walk them around and get the mass hysteria set up, and we would know where people would go, because we'd obviously go like, these are the most haunted locations in a building that obviously wasn't haunted, but it was the scariest building in town that would let us run our tours there. And we'd set it up perfectly where the air vents would go. And we figured this out one night on accident, where we put people like in this room where we see the most activity. Well, in this room, the military base, they brought a hooker on base. Well, they didn't know what to do with her, so they just killed her. And this is where they burned her body, and blah, 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 story. And we were doing our rounds after we told everybody where to go. We would do our quick rounds to make sure no one wasn't doing drugs or whatever. We happened to be way up in the attic, which was the top floor, and the old air vents, they took the grates off of them on the very top floor. I don't know why, if people were scalping for metal or whatnot. We just happened to be walking by there and accidentally kicked a piece of gravel. It went down the air vent. Well, conveniently, that air vent went from place to place to place on all the floors. So you could hear that little piece of gravel hit, scared floor, hit, scared of floor, hit, scared of floor. So it literally scared every people in the group just falling down. So that became a moneymaker for very minimal effort.
Wait, this house was originally. Wait, it was pretty. Oh, it's 3 floors now, right?
The Axe Murder House?
They didn't do any remodeling to it.
There's 2 floors. There's two main floors. The upstairs and the main floor, yeah.
What am I thinking of? That was like 5 floors originally, then a fire, and then now there's like only 2 or 3 floors. It's some sort of haunting.
Spaghetti Works.
Oh, fuck yeah. No. Anyways, that's probably besides the point. The most I know, I guess, I mean, I'm pretty familiar with the axe murder. As far as great detail, not so much. I knew a guy who grew up in Villisca, and his summer job was pretty much to work the house. And he has told me up front that like everything that's in there nothing is original. Everything has been replaced.
Right.
I'm sure.
So.
Yeah.
Well, and like this actual story of the axe murder, it happened in 1912. 8 people died, 6 family of the Moors, 2 people they got to stay the night. Someone killed them. It's still a mystery. No one knows. Like 8 people were tried for it. Most of the people were like, "Oh, you were having sex with so and so, and you sent lewd pictures, so you're a killer, and you're a killer, and you're a killer." Like, so there was really asinine reasons, and so many other people had alibis, and so for the actual crime itself that took place, it was a clusterfuck. Now, granted, it was the early 19th century,
Right.
so people who were there, like top-notch police work. For the actual haunting side of it, I mean, and not throwing shade at the Villisca Axe Murder House, because personally, I think most commercial haunts are a fraud. That particular one, like, it has so much history to me from where I grew up.
Right.
It is, like most, I can't say it is. I can't say it's not.
Is there a train track really close to it?
And that's the thing that one of the people who think it was, and probably the most compelling argument of it all, was like a transient who was on that train line, jumped off, killed the people who lived in the house, got back, and went, a serial killer, supposedly a dad and a daughter wrote a book that serial killer, and his name was Paul Mueller, killed 59 people.
Mueller?
Killed 59 people in 14 different murder sprees.
Well,
In like very similar axe murders.
because I thought that people, like, part of it was that the axe murderer was using the sound of trains going by to hide their footsteps throughout the house, so that
They would
could
have
get-
known the placement of the footsteps to need to know how to hide, I guess, too. So
Right. Well, according to the police report, of what little police report there was, they found 2 used cigarette butts in the attic. So they think he hid in the attic for the family to get home. Like so the family and the two kids who were with them all went out to a church function, which allowed the person to be in the house and just waited out for them to get home. They think he killed them between midnight and 5 a.m. And when they didn't go out to do their chores, a neighbor came and checked on him and found them all dead.
That would suck.
Now, and this is something I feel comfortable talking about the murders and talking about the actual criminal aspect of it more than I feel about talking about the actual haunting of it. She can keep the story and she can keep her blood money going. That's on her. But the story will live on. The story doesn't belong to anybody.
Look how long it's been going.
Right.
It's still strong.
you would think if it's an actual haunting, a person making a buck off it might be a target for the hunter.
Could be.
Fair.
So, I'm telling you guys right now, my arm is burning right here. But earlier when you kind of looked at me, you're like, "Are you okay?" I felt something grab onto my arm real quickly, and my arm is burning. I don't know if you've noticed me keep checking it, but like,
You can see the abrasions.
Are you being
Whoa.
serious, or are you joking? You're joking.
It's dark in here. Of course I can't see it.
Well, I don't know.
It
but
looks like you got a mushroom stamp on your head.
Oh, that's in my pants.
That's auto mushroom stamp.
But yeah, I believe very much in paranormal stuff. I've had a lot of experiences happen, so I was actually very excited when he brought a Ouija board out because I've always wanted to mess around with one, but I don't know. I think maybe we might have to do. I think this could be a segment where we can. God damn, dude, that's so loud. Like, it scares me because it's loud.
Right? I didn't expect it, so I'm like, I'm looking at the candles here burning down. I'm like, motherfucker!
That's my fault. We're supposed to be on Do Not Disturb mode. It is on Do Not. The camera went off by itself again.
That's okay.
It did. But I think it would be try to, like, you know, summon some things. Like, you know, one of the, and it might be next episode, since I'm going to be the lead for the next episode. I have an idea of what our main topic's going to be, and it involves some other people that were tragically murdered and taken away too soon. See, that's much better. It wasn't like loud as crap where made me jump.
I didn't pee myself.
Keep talking about it, man.
Well,
like, why you get the music?
That's a great ending. I say we just call it right here.
We should. I mean, this has been a pretty exciting episode.
Just keep that going. Just keep that rolling. That's a good.
But he's got to play out the outro stuff. Actually, you have the outro voice thing. That's separate, right? Yeah. So you could play that with that music.
Well, it's only like that much.
Well, anyway.
Well, there goes that. Might as well turn the lights back on.
Anyway, thank you so much for listening. I'm Lonnie.
I'm Jeremy.
That's Jeremy.
Justin.
Thank you guys so much for listening in on this micro episode of the Boundless PodTrap. It's just like Justin's penis.
I knew it. I knew it.
Hey.
It's cold right now. That's all.
No, it's not. It's not his balls.
Yeah, my balls are hot right now.
All right, everybody.
There's abrasions on it.
Have a good night. Blow up shit. Keep your fingers. Good night.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Join us next time for more absurdity that only the guys from the Boundless PodTrap can bring you.